Hello, ghouls, guys, gals, and any other life forms that may be streaming this broadcast. You are now listening to Storming the Unknown with Ashley Storm, where we have hauntings, UFOs and extraterrestrials, cryptids, serial killers, and dark history all under one freaky little roof. A gathering place for the morbid curiosity to come and play and learn about the deepest, darkest parts of everything weird. Feast on this smorgasbord of everything supernatural and brace yourselves as we go storming the unknown. What is up, chicken butts? Happy Monday, and I am so very glad to be here. Our guest will be joining us in about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the background of the asylum before I bring them on. This place has a very interesting history. I'm going to go ahead and share it out real quick, let everybody else come in. Hi, Eileen. Hello, Tony. Make sure you guys share, please, and thank you. And then we will go ahead and get started. Thank you again for our Media Network, all the gents and everything, having me back on here. I'm so excited to be back home. Share it real quick, and then we will get started. Okay, so in 1954, the asylum was built as a nursing home. We call it the asylum now because it runs as a haunted house during October, but it actually ended up becoming sort of a makeshift asylum in its own way. After about 2 years of being open, they actually had people just start dropping off their relatives randomly. All of their loved ones they didn't want anymore, anyone who they weren't fit to take care of anymore, all age ranges, and didn't really matter if it was a mental disorder or whatnot, just really horrible conditions to live in when it really was just supposed to be a nursing home. They didn't have the proper psychiatric or psychological care. They were basically just given a place to stay and then meals to eat and never had any real affection or interaction with the outside world. They were unwanted. At a certain point, the nursing home numbers started to dwindle. And then on the left wing, which is what we call the south wing, a trauma center decided to try and open up there. Well, the trauma center was only open for 7 months before they closed down because the nurses, the doctors, and the patients that did survive their traumas, very few, actually were having so many instances of being touched or seeing people walking through the halls, hearing things all the time, things being moved, that they just didn't want to be there anymore, so they up and left everything. The north wing, which is on the right-hand side, used to be a halfway home and alternative school for children at a certain point. We have had several suicides in that wing. The nursing home at a certain point was very famous for its neglect and just, you can imagine some of the things that would happen. We've all gone to these places where, especially nursing homes or halfway homes, poor houses, people who have had very poor interactions with humans in their lives seem to be not necessarily desperate, but wanting to communicate and wanting that interaction with us when we go into these locations as investigators. So the energy from these places is very different. And I think the fact that we run it as a haunted house is part of why we've been able to stay so long, because a church did try to build there at a certain point. The priest and two of the workers, I've talked to two of the workers, there were three there, and talked to the priest. They were all standing there while they were trying to build one of the entranceways in the south wing. And the priest got shoved, boards started flying everywhere, and everyone heard someone scream, "Get out," at them. So they left everything. One of my favorite parts of the tour through the asylum is actually when you go towards the south wing, I show you the equipment that they left. Everything is still just sitting there untouched, and they built right down the street next to the liquor store because being next to the liquor store was more holy place than our asylum. Hey, Casey. Hello, everyone. Yes, and then the history of it kind of just bottles after that. In 1992, it got shut down, and it laid unused until they started running it as a haunted house about 3 years ago. And I took over as owner about 1.5 years ago. We run paranormal investigations and all that good stuff out of there. Trying to think if there's anything I left out because I don't want to give too much away and kind of let our guests tell you a little bit about what they've learned or what they experience in these places because I feel it's way more profound when it comes from somebody who's a completely unbiased party. I have Michael here already. What's up, chicken butt? Hi, Michael. Here he is. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh my God.
Hello,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am freaking wonderful. Since you're the first one on, you get first dibs. You guys were actually there about a month ago, right? Yeah, because it was the weekend before Tyler Paranormal Con, Paracon, so the 17th. Yeah, right over a month ago, with a pretty big group. So, what, just in your own words, because I don't want to lead people, what are your favorite moments of the night? What would you like people to know about this place? All that good stuff. I don't want to lead people in any direction. I just want it to be word of mouth from people sharing their own experiences and stories. I'm going to add Rich too, real quick.
You got me?
Oh, it dropped him.
Uh-oh.
Eileen's here. I'm bringing Eileen on too. We're just going to keep popping people on all.
Hey,
Hey.
Hi, pretty lady. Oh, I love seeing your face.
hey.
Rich was actually there when Eileen was there, and Eileen was there when Michael was there because Michael was there for the same event. We were there for the Potter Paranormal event that we had for the memorial for Ken Potter, and we had some fun that night. It was actually very very interesting. I was gonna let Michael go first because he was the first one on, but
Go ahead, Michael.
it dropped him. Well, it dropped him, so he can't.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know. So Rich was the second one. So I'm gonna let Rich tell his experience. And Rich actually made a pretty nifty video of all the things that they caught. And you guys weren't there for very long, considering how long investigations actually take place, because you guys were just there for an event. And just within that short time, you guys got some very intelligent, accurate, and
Kind of
insane stuff
disturbing
happening.
too.
He said
Yeah.
kind of disturbing.
A little
Disturbing's
not
kind
much,
of what we
just
live
a little
for,
bit.
okay?
Yeah.
So, like I was telling Michael, I don't really want to lead you guys because I really just want it to be word of mouth from people. They're your genuine experiences. I'm not going to ask you about certain things or bait you along. I kind of just want it to be a genuine
Yeah.
take
No,
on your experience there. So, like your most profound moments there, what you think of the location, what you think of the activity in the location, and
okay. Well, we
that's how we
started
start.
off pretty much with Bud and Eileen in the North Wing. Edith and I went with them, and we were getting a lot of question and answer equipment hits out there. Bud would ask it to light up the one side, it'd light it up. It'd light up the other side, it'd light up both sides. Just equipment hits all over the place, almost on command every time. And I believe at some point he got the name Michael popped in his head for some reason. Didn't know why. And then Eileen comes up, well, hey, this guy Michael had been in the, was it there he is, uh,
Hello.
the
Sorry
alternative
about that.
school. Yeah, he
Yes,
was at the
he was one of
alternative
the
school.
alternative
Yeah,
school.
and he had died from the drug overdose. So apparently Michael was there.
Mhm.
And I think for some of,
And
I think he was there too,
yeah,
or
because when we
something like
got
that.
the name,
Yeah.
we thought that you guys thought maybe they were talking about this Michael, but when I told you guys no, that's relevant. Like, oh, it's a different Michael. We thought they were
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about
because you had never even mentioned the name Michael during the
Mm-mm.
tour or
No.
anything.
no, because I won't tell. That's one of the things that I try and do differently. I don't like telling everybody every little bit
Hmm.
about what goes on there because it does it hinders your ability to go in with a clear mind. So when you're doing response
Hmm.
sessions and stuff, you are completely swayed by preconceived notions of what you should be hearing or what you might be getting.
Hmm.
So I always tell everybody, you get names and stuff, I'm right here, just let me know. And so all the time you have people coming out, does this make sense? Does this? And yes, 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 and I'll show them the documentation or tell them the story behind it. But I love that you guys got so many intelligent responses. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed the location. And of course, for me, it's only 3 hours away. So I'm up here in Broken Arrow. So um, I'm actually trying to get some guys to go back down in there so we can make have probably just the 6 hour tour is probably all they could tolerate. But yeah, that was a really fun time. I enjoyed meeting everybody.
Now, you said disturbing. Again, don't want
Well,
to lead you, but you said it
yeah,
at
okay.
least. So
I
I'm
didn't know if
just
you wanted me
asking
to
you
talk about that or
to
not.
say what's
It
disturbing. Well,
was
yes, because I don't like
okay.
sugarcoating
Okay.
things.
Well, I won't
And
mention what it supposedly is.
okay, good.
Yeah,
I
we'll
appreciate
leave that out. I know I need to leave that out of there, but it was during your orientation. I don't know if I was the only one recording, but I got that gravelly voice while you were talking about the alley.
that.
And it
I
said,
don't let anybody go back there.
you're right, you're not allowed. The last people that didn't fare very well. And I got the EVP in that gravelly voice saying, I'm going to find you.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter if
And
you.
that was probably the creepiest EVP I got. That was definitely no doubt it wasn't anybody else because I don't think any my voice is kind of deep, but not that deep and gravelly. So, so and then we had that experience after we pretty much had finished. I kept hearing that noise outside, figuring it was a bird, animal, something other than what we thought it might have been. And I started getting up to look for it. And about halfway between the middle and the south wing, I heard it right in front of me, and I felt a breath of warm air on my front. It just poof. So I wish that I'd have been recording then. I didn't have it going because I wasn't expecting what we were going to find. So long story short, we kept hearing it. We get to where we'd hear it, it would stop. We'd walk away. It would start up again. We went around towards the alley. We didn't go in it. But when Bud shined his light on the tree line, I saw a red something. Dot. It wasn't two eyes. It was just red. Shined it away, brings it back. It's gone. I'm like, okay, that's just my glasses. A few minutes later, he shines it back. It's back. And Bud said, yeah, there's something in that tree. And I hadn't even said anything yet. I said, that's why, well, now I've seen two red things in there. What is it? And he goes, I think we need to back off. So, and then during that course of time, I got a couple of possible EVPs. One of them, I think Eileen had found that dollar bill by the campfire. And
Yeah, and got really
they were
excited.
talking about it. Yeah, yeah.
You
And
can't that excitement on the EVP.
while they were talking about it, she goes, I'm just going to put that back down. And she said, yeah. And Edith said, yeah. And then right after that, you hear, yeah. Don't know where that came from. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, like put that back. It's mine.
Hey, I did leave the dollar bill
Yes,
there.
yes, she did. I mean, I didn't film it, but I will verify she put it back there. Yes, she did.
I did
And
not take off with the dollar.
right.
You never leave with stuff on
No,
native
that
ground.
was no. I think that was an offering or something. But I missed the first object being thrown. We were in the north wing, I think, when it happened. But then when we all were,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we missed it. I think you
Yeah.
all got that. I missed it. Edith and I missed it.
Yeah.
That was right
But
behind me.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
He was
did
sitting
get
in
the
that
bottle
chair.
cap one. Yeah. The bottle cap one I was there for. And if you listen to my audio, at first I thought they just happened to kick it. But I saw it moving on the floor. But when you listen to my audio, it hit the wall hard. I mean,
Is that
and then
the
you
way
hear it
hitting?
slap, and then there's a delay, and then you hear it hitting the floor and rolling around. So that thing was tossed pretty hard. And that was right when we were all in the same room and we were starting to break apart. Bang.
That's when I got hit because you guys, we were talking about how I always tell them not to throw things at people. And
Hmm.
then I don't remember who it was in that room was like, well, you can throw things at me. And I'm like, man, remember you asked for it. And as I'm walking out of the room, something gets thrown at my head. And like, there were a few people out in the hallway with me that saw it like come from above
Okay,
and
that
just
was it. That was that
smack
plastic
me
Yeah.
bottle
in my
cap, I think.
head.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
was
And I wasn't,
orange Halloween tea light.
Oh, was
that's
that what it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
think
thought it was
Yeah.
a
it
bottle
was a tea
cap.
light.
Okay. Okay.
and when I remember because you did get it on EVP, you got it on the recording too, and I was like, oh my god, I sound so fucking ghetto. Um, I was like, man, they said they wanted to get hit, not me. What y'all tripping for? I was just like, oh my god, Rich, you could have edited that out, but whatever, I ain't got no shit in my game. It's whatever.
I can't edit everything.
I am
I
who
had to
I
edit
am.
Shannon pretty hard too. Because
Yeah, I
during
am
one of
what I
the
am. I'm not
during
ashamed.
one of the one I call the vocalizations, Shannon was like, "What the was that?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't want to make her look bad. I'm trying to fix." So I had to really cut it off short because I didn't want her to
I don't know. I'm
deviate.
just messing with you. I don't care. Everybody knows how I am.
Oh,
People,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it. I've had
Hmm.
spirits call me names like that, and so yeah,
Yeah, it's funny bringing up
it's
that
just
throwing the object because I was just on my first interview last week, and one of the questions was, "Okay, so have you ever had anything thrown at you?" And I said, "Funny you say that. Go to Broken Bow. You'll have something on command thrown right behind you."
mm,
That was okay. So,
Definitely.
Michael, do you want to tell that story? Because you didn't get to tell yours yet. So, do you want to tell that story for us? Because your reaction was hilarious. Your reaction was my favorite.
Oh,
Like, I was hoping somebody was taping that your direction, so they got your reaction on camera.
yeah, it was. I walked in the room because I was in another section, and Ashley was sitting on the floor across from someone, and I was like kind of quietly like standing at the doorway, and she's like, "Oh, you can come in." I'm like, "Okay." And so I'm standing there by the buffet cart,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden she goes, "Well, if you want to throw something, you can, but just remember the rule: you can't throw it at someone." And I turned my back to face the door, and this loud bang right behind me, and I freeze right where I'm standing. And I'm like, "What was that? That was right behind me. Do I want to turn around and see what's there, or do I want to walk out the door?" I was like, "What?" And so we all turn the light on, and we find this like bone thing on the ground, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Was this it?" And we lightly threw. We're like, "No, it's close, but no." And then somebody goes, "I think it was thrown harder," and really threw it out. We're like, "Yep, that was it."
Yeah.
We were like,
mm,
"We don't know where this bone came from."
It's a little. It was just a little plastic bone.
Yeah,
It was a plastic femur bone because it's set up as a haunted house. I mean,
Hmm.
I think, and you guys know that. Duh, you've been there. But people who don't know, it's set up as a haunted house. So we have like plastic eyeballs everywhere and like little fake snakes and stuff. We have props everywhere. And I was telling them before we started, things end up in different rooms. Like you'll be sitting in one room and then something gets thrown at you from like a completely different wing. And that bone was not in the room. You know, as investigators, we've taken our surroundings and make sure that we know what's in the room and where it is beforehand. And we could not figure out what it came from. We just knew that it got thrown
I couldn't
hard.
even tell you what direction it came from the
It
sound. It
came
was
from
so loud.
It came from Ashley's area because she was out. The buffet was kind of behind me, and Ashley
Yeah, she was
was
sitting
away in
right
front of
across from
me.
me. Yeah.
And my digital recorder, you can hear that it was thrown so hard, you can hear it breaking through the air, going right past me
wow.
on my digital recorder. I haven't
Yeah,
finished listening to all the evidence. I've been so busy, but that is one thing I came straight home. I was like, I've got to listen to
You were
this.
sitting like what, a foot and a half, not even away from it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, Michael, I think you were kind of a little behind me, but
I was.
yeah, I think you were like looking at the buffet, you were to the right of it. Yeah, and I was about a foot and a half to 2 feet in front of it. And that's what me and Shannon, or me and Ashley, I believe it was, got up, and once we found it, we just kept throwing it at different speeds, throwing it at it. And so it was really
We did
hard.
like
We had to throw.
underhand
Yeah,
tosses, overhand tosses. We were doing every which way trying to get it to make that sound again. And we did it
it
like
was
against,
like
I
it
remember we did it against the
really
wall of
wanted
the
to throw it.
refrigerator. Yeah. And we figured out what it was finally. That was pretty
But
fun though.
I've
I'm
never
sure.
heard anything break through air on a digital recorder. That's how hard it was. But it
That's,
did not
Yeah,
hit anybody.
no,
see, then that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta have rules,
that
man.
time.
Gotta have rules.
The second one, I tell people, I was like, because I was sitting by the door when you were walking out, and I'm like, and I saw it fall next to you, and I was like, so I tell people, I don't know if the tea light hit her or was right next to her, but I saw it come from the attic rafters and drop
Mm,
right by her when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were
it just
leaving
like
that room.
came down on me. That's what I was like. Are you? It didn't feel like a throw. It felt like. Remember how I told you they? I feel like they they watch us from the rafters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
feel
that
like
was
maybe they were just trying to come out of the room with me and maybe like just knocked it up, because I didn't feel like it was like malicious or mean in any way. You know what I'm saying? It was more like a something like you said, like randomly just falling on my head. But
Yeah.
how that tea light got into the rafter, I have no idea, because we don't
Yeah.
put them up there.
well,
Why
and
would you have a tea light in a rafter?
I don't know, because they need light. Ghosts are afraid of
Yeah.
the dark too.
well before you have me
Yeah.
rolling, Ashley.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're always stealing our lights.
No,
Mhm.
it's funny that you were talking about the rafters because before you had mentioned anything about everyone feeling somebody's watching you, when we were all in the North Wing, it was Edith, me, and Bud and Rich.
Yeah.
I kept looking up over where
Mhm.
Bud and Rich were standing because I just felt like something was in there. And when you walk down to the very end of the hallway where the doors leading outside would be,
Mhm.
it's like something's up there. And
Yeah. I
it's
kept
just,
looking up.
and there was sometimes, and I know Bud was trying to get a signal to get on. So I hate to kind of tell his story, but I think you were involved with it too, Rich.
Yeah.
Is they kept like something was touching their backs and there was
Um,
nothing behind them. Was that
yeah.
you or was that Bud?
Mine was my glasses.
Was it your glass?
We were walking back. I don't remember what time of the night it was, but we were walking back to start investigating again, and it felt like something just kind of brushed, like I'd walked into a hanging wire. Because I turned around to look for it, and there was nothing there.
Yeah, and the
And
only thing, I mean, I immediately looked up in the rafters when they were saying
mhm,
that because
yeah,
something in my gut just told me it was something coming from the rafters.
yeah. And Shannon actually got one of her legs got brushed over there, and when we went to look to see, there was like the paint chips peeling up, but those were so rough that wouldn't have felt like a light brush. That would have
Brush.
been rigid. And she didn't like that too much. He's like, no, 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 I don't want to, don't touch. So, but I'm not sure if Bud got touched or not. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been your situation I was thinking of, but it was
Yeah,
either that or both.
right. And then he did ask if you like hanging out in the rafters, and I almost missed this, but there was a very faint yeah. Something said, "Yeah, you like hanging up in the rafters." Yeah. So, and I almost missed it.
Who
I
got
had to
up?
actually go ahead.
Didn't one of you guys get up? Somebody in your group got up while you guys were there, right? When you guys were on that side.
Yeah, I think Rich, I think that
Who
was
Um,
got
what's
up?
that? I was just looking at my notes because I didn't get a chance to go over that video
I
to
love
see
that
what
you
I
have
actually
notes,
put
Rich.
out
You're
there. Oh
really
yeah, these are very meticulous
I'm
pages
like
and
me.
pages.
I do the same thing. I love it.
Because you always have to cross-reference everything you have. Because I've
Mm-hmm.
had where something, God, there's got to be an EVP, and then you get to the video and it's somebody doing something else. But I don't think I got an up. I was just looking at it. I did get the yes or the yeah from the rafters. Let's see what else we got. There was one. There was another one. I think during your orientation where it sounded like it said, "I can't wait."
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember if that was before or after that voice, but it was in that same time frame where you're giving your orientation basically, and I got that there. Um, yeah, okay, that was before that. So the I can't wait, and then I will find, or I'm going to find you came after that. Yeah, I don't know.
Are there little kids there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Two that I know of.
there's a couple of
Because
highs. I'm
I
sorry.
asked because Kellen caught me on camera, and right before I say something, you hear this laugh that sounds like a little kid, like kind of chuckling. And then I talk, and then he's like, "Why were you laughing?" I was like, "I don't think that's my laugh." And then he caught again where I start to laugh about saying something, and the laugh is right before it again. It's like a little kid was hanging around laughing over what I was doing.
Did you try? I just want to hear. I just want to know if you tried to like recreate a little kid giggle. Did you give him a little just to make
I
sure
didn't.
that it wasn't you laughing?
I didn't hear it. We found it on two different video clips.
That's
I
pretty
think you should
awesome,
try
though.
that now.
Let's hear your little kid laugh. I'm sure it was.
It was kind of like a right before I say something. I was like, "What was that?" Everyone,
Ashley, don't snort. I'll start laughing.
I'm trying not to, y'all. I'm really trying not to because my allergies are so bad right now that I will drown if I snort. So
But
I'm trying not to.
I will say though, walking into that room of mirrors, I was instantly the second I stepped into that room of mirrors, I was like, "Oh, I do not like this room."
The Room of Mirror.
It's on the
That's what I
haunted
was trying
house
to.
side.
Why can't I think of the Room of Mirror?
Like after the room with the dolls.
It's on
Oh
that
Or is it
long
the
stretch
no, it's
towards.
the one
Jason
before
masks?
the Jason
It
Mask
might
room.
be.
That's the only Room of
Might
Mirrors I
be.
can think of.
Mm,
It's got like mirrors hanging on all four sides.
Yeah, the Jason room.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh,
that's why I
That
call it
sounds
the
like
mm,
mirror
mirror
room.
room. The Jason
mm.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't think too
just,
many people like the pictures of those little dolls I put in there. It's like, did you have
Dolls
to
are
put those
creepy.
in there? Said yes, that had to be done. I
but
actually
man,
did catch that giggle. If it was at around 10:15 or so, I did catch that a giggle somewhere. That was in the south wing. So I'm not sure if you were there with us or not.
I don't
Now I
know. I
know.
kind of was floating around, so
Yeah, we all kind of were. That's
That
when we
place makes
found
you
that
want to float,
mountain
though.
of computers too.
I've been on a few investigations since then, so I don't remember exactly where I was at one
Yeah.
time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now I will say that was that's one of my places I really want to go back to.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Oh
little
yeah,
less people, just go back and
Hmm.
really investigate it. I
I
mean, not
did
that we
Absolutely
mention that to
didn't, but
him.
you
immaculate
know, yeah,
investigation. Because
yeah,
it's
just like two or
different when you're
four
doing
people,
it for events
Hmm.
versus, in-depth investigations. It just is. It's just
No,
different. A different
I
Rich,
animal.
you
will
were with.
say,
Go ahead.
Rich. I think you were with us when we were doing the pyramid
Yeah. Hmm.
and the cat balls. They would not
Cat
play
balls
with
went off
both. They
right
would only play with one.
with
Even
that
when we
one.
put them side by side, literally
Right.
touching, only one would go off.
So you're
Hmm.
saying my ghost won't play with both balls?
No, just the one. Just one ball.
Yeah, just one. They're not greedy.
Good to know.
There's
Good to
just
know.
no
It,
way to say that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
They know what they like.
I still can't
Do they prefer
explain
the left
how
or the right? Like,
it was the left one. If you're looking at it through the
Yeah,
hallway,
it actually was.
I have it on video, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's really
yeah.
weird because they're like you gotta touch these to make them move and to go off, and one starts lighting up, and the one next to it just stays completely dark, and they were
There it was.
touching.
There's a snort. But the significant thing about that is most of the night, those things would not light off until we were in there, and that's when they started lighting up. Was later in the evening.
didn't we have cat ball responses? Remember when everybody was in the room, with the circle and
Mm,
the drawing on the floor, the chalkboard.
I don't remember if
I
they
think
were
we had.
before I got there.
I think
I think we
maybe a
had
little
From
bit.
the night,
Didn't we have some whenever we were playing, like when me and you were rolling it back and
back and
forth,
forth. Yeah,
trying to get the little girl to play before the stuff was thrown?
Hmm.
yeah, that's what it was. That's when I was
Yeah,
playing with the cat ball in the old kitchen room. Yeah. That's what
because
it was.
Ashley and I were sitting. It was just her. It was just the two of us in the room at the time, and we would roll the cat ball back and forth just to show it the light and try to get it to roll. Then we stopped, and then that's when we started getting activity on the cat ball.
Hmm.
Hmm. Like, okay, you guys are done. Let me do it.
And then you asked it nicely to throw something, and it did.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I told you guys, manners go a long way in there. One of my favorite things that I got in there was uh, an EVP of a little girl saying manners because I always say please and thank you. I'll be like, shut your mouth,
mhm.
please and thank you. Even when I'm mean, I'm like super polite. I'll add please and thank you onto anything.
Hmm.
And so every time I ask them, can we, do this, that, the little girl loves like touching people and playing with people. And so we had a group, and I was like, can you please and touch, this girl, please and thank you. Can you grab so and so's hand, please and thank you? And this other girl in the group was like, I want my hand touched. So I was like, can you touch her? She was just annoying me. So I was like, can you touch her? Like, just not even, I didn't add my please and thank you because I was like, let's just make her shut up because she was just being super rude all night to the spirits. Like, it's so boring because they're not doing anything. I was like, I don't want them to touch me. So, and,
How was that impression again?
and so I said, can you touch her? And then all of a sudden, uh, the spirit box said manners, but we also caught it later that it was through.
Hey,
Hi, Edith!
Edith.
Hi,
Photo
sweet
bomb.
Edith.
She
You
had
can
her eyes
join
dilated,
too.
so
I'm watching on the iPad.
okay, she's watching.
But yeah, and then on EVP we got manners, and I was like, I just got
Mm.
corrected by a fucking ghost, but okay. So it was funny because when I heard it on the spirit box, because we didn't find the EVP till later, but when I heard the spirit box, I went, "Oh, I'm so sorry, please and thank you." And as soon as I said it, the little girl goes, "Oh my god!" Like she finally got touched, and then she left like 20 minutes later. So you win some, you lose some, and then sometimes you really win them.
Now, Rich,
Yeah.
were you with Bud and I whenever we were walking? I think it was you. We were walking down the north wing, but we were going towards the hallway that has um, the computer graveyard.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I got
The
some orbs in there.
I like that.
Mhm.
well, we had heard footsteps behind us, and we had to
Mhm.
turn around a couple of times. You were with us then,
Yeah.
and I don't know if
And I
you were, Michael,
believe
but
I think I
it
was
was
with you.
you were too. Okay, everybody was
think-
everywhere. I can't remember who was where.
I remember I was in there with Rich, and then we walked back with another couple that we're like, yeah, check out all these computers back here.
Yeah.
Then we ended up in that room across the hall, and something happened in that room across the hall, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because, like I said, I've been, horrible and haven't checked all my evidence yet.
Yeah, I
Something.
think we heard a
Yeah.
sound or something because I remember
Yeah.
we all were like, wait, where did that just come from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I'm
then,
trying to find it here, but
now I was hoping Bud's signal would be strong enough to come on because I'd love for him to tell the story before the investigation ever started.
For the alleyway.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to that, Darren, who is one of my co-hosts for the show that I do before this, one Monday every month, he always has the most amazing questions, but also it's like, get the fuck out of my business, Darren. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Darren. So he wants to know why the alleyway is so bad. And let me just say this. It's not necessarily that it's evil, that it's bad, that it's negative, like that it wants to hurt you. The entirety of that neighborhood that the asylum is built in is built on native land. All of Hojotown and Broken Bow in itself is old Choctaw and Caddo settlements. You've had a lot of different. I don't want to get into it, but bloodshed and you guys know what happens.
Massacre.
So yeah, not trying to offend any white people because I have a whole panel full of them, but
Hey, I feel more native than white, so
it
you ain't
happens.
offended me.
no, not at all.
Ashley, I can't stop laughing when you do that.
Oh my god, I'm trying not to. I promise. I'm trying to be super serious. So it's strong because native energy in itself. Like when I do home cases and stuff, a lot of the times, the areas within they don't realize that they're on like old settlements, or they don't realize. That's why I like doing geographical and topographical maps of settlements and stuff over the locations that we're investigating, whether they be public or for home cases and whatnot. But whatever's back there is definitely strong. It changes its shape, it changes its energy. It can sometimes be a shadow. It can sometimes look like a full on person. Sometimes it looks like just a light. And it changes its mood constantly. And I think that kind of might be part of why the asylum changes so frequently. There are some days you go in there and you can't breathe. It feels like you're walking through mud. And there are some days you go in there and you just feel loved and comforted, and it has a completely different feeling to it. And there's some days you go in there and it just feels like there's absolutely nothing at all. But you always feel something on the land, always in the back. No matter how the building itself feels, there's definitely something.
Phoenix and I, at one point at the night, we were outside in the courtyard in the front by the fire pit, and we kept hearing this noise of like an animal over by the north wing.
Is that what you guys were doing by the wall? I thought you were
Yeah.
trying to find something you lost.
No, we were looking to see what animal or creature or what it was making sounds, and we'd hear it in a tree, and then it would be back on the ground, and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
we just could
Mhm.
not figure out. We were like literally felt like we were on top of what was making the noise.
Mhm.
We could feel it, but we couldn't see it.
Yep.
Huh.
See,
And I've
that's
never
what was
heard
going on.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was going on. Like when
In
we
the
are getting
alley,
ready to
though,
wrap it up.
Yeah.
that's
Um,
what happens in the alley is those noises. You hear like
mhm.
animal noises, and then it's not an animal.
Well,
It's
Hmm.
over by the street light that's on the main road, one minute you would hear, and to me it kind of sounded like and it wasn't really like a cat, but that was the
Right.
closest I could describe it to. But I've got cats, and it wasn't quite a cat, but it
Hmm.
would be like under that street light one minute, the sound, the
Hmm.
next thing it would be behind the asylum. I mean,
Yep.
like split seconds. There's no way any animal could have gotten there that quick.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and that's what Rich was saying. It was like it was trying to lure us to a
Back
certain
into the woods.
location. And,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of investigations with Bud, and I have never seen him say, it's time to go.
Yeah. It's
I
basically
mean, I was
said
like,
prudence demands we retreat right now. Not
Yeah,
verbatim, but that was the gist he gave us. We needed to get out of there. It
yeah.
it
just
was
And
didn't
that,
funny.
feel
There,
right. And go
there
ahead.
was
Go.
3 times that night of the investigation. I heard something calling me to the alleyway, and I remembered Ashley saying, "Don't go in the alley." So I was
Mhm.
like, when
that
I
would made it
heard
so
it,
much
I would
harder.
respond in my head and going, "I would." But I kind of agreed not to go, so I
Mhm.
had to honor my agreement. So maybe next time.
that's
Ashley will
not
beat
true.
me up. I'm not going.
Yeah. I'll
Now
never be invited back again.
I will make you guys this promise. If you guys can find a date to come up there all together, we can do
Mhm.
it all together and
Well,
do the alleyway. It's just for for things like that. You have to be careful about what you do. You don't know everybody's energy and everything. You don't. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
But I want to know what's like. I want to investigate back there, but I know not to do it by myself. I do everything by
well,
myself, but I know this one is one that not to do by myself.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
inviting you guys back, and we can do it, but
Good.
well,
only
Thank
I'll
you.
as
tell
long as
you
we're all
about
together.
our experience, because this was before Ashley said don't go in the alleyway. I will say that.
Mhm.
So I'm not grounded. So I had gotten there a little early because I wanted to check out and see where I was driving. And of course, everyone else was driving to get to location. And I pulled up to the asylum, and so of course I kind of knew don't go near it because you don't know if there's someone hanging out in there or not. So I didn't realize how huge it was until you pulled up to it, because the pictures do not do it justice on how big it is. And well, then we met up with Ashley up there after Bud got in, and I'm just sitting there talking to her, and all of a sudden Bud just disappeared. And I'm like, where the heck did he go? And next thing I know, I look down the side, and he's heading back towards the alleyway. And of course, he didn't know anything. And I was like, wonder what he's doing over there. As Ashley's telling me some things about the alley, next thing I know, he's done walked around the entire building and coming back our way. And then he starts telling me exactly pretty much what Ashley was saying. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to tell a lie. But I mean, just the descriptions and all. And I was like, I want to go. And you know how when you're taking, guys, you may or may not know, you know how when you're taking photos, you suck in your gut?
All the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, we started walking through the alleyway, and there was a puddle, and I just had this weird feeling all the way up into that puddle. Once I crossed over that puddle, it was like I could breathe again. And I realized
Hmm.
the entire time I was actually sucking in my gut. And I wasn't doing it, obviously. Why would I walk and just, but, and I just like looked at Bud, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like almost like I was sucking in to hold my breath the entire way until I got to that puddle. Once I hit that puddle, the whole energy changed back to normal. It was like between and that was about halfway down the alley.
And fun fact about Bud going to the alley, he only went back that way because he said he saw someone look at him
Yeah,
like,
I forgot that
hey,
part.
come
Yeah.
follow me.
Yeah.
And then walk back behind the building, and absolutely nobody was there. And that happens to us all the time. So you guys have seen that campfire area we sit out at the left side, right? So we're
Right.
near it all the time, and stuff happens to us constantly while we're out there. I
And
cannot
that's
tell
what you were
you.
explaining to me because I didn't know he had seen it. And you said, oh, he saw, what'd you call it, Shadow Man or something? You called it something.
I just call it it.
It.
And, or
That's
you
the
said
best.
something about a shadow or something. And so when he
I know I
came
asked, did he
around,
look like a shadow? Did he look like a
yeah.
shadow or a human? Like, did he look
But
like
at
a human
that
or a shadow?
point,
Yeah.
I didn't even know what he had seen or that he even saw anything. He just kind of took off. I'm like, you're going to tell me not to take off. And you just took off.
Yeah, he was
Um,
really excited when I pulled up. He told me, "We got to get back in that alley, man. It's a whole different feeling." I'm like, "Cool, let me put my stuff away and we'll go." And then you are not allowed in the alley.
no way.
Well, crap.
Well, see,
It's just
But
because
I
I
get
like
it.
you
I
guys.
get
I
it.
feel like if I
I
didn't like
understand.
someone, I'd be like, yeah, you can go.
go with that.
Yeah, go back and go
I just
about
like you
300
guys.
feet into that woods over there, and that'd be
But
perfect.
even
So
the
mental
next
note there:
morning,
if Ashley sends you to the alley, she's perturbed at you.
Done something wrong.
wait, didn't she just invite all of us to the alley?
Yes, she did.
As a group,
But
she
with
said
Yeah,
alone.
me,
If
I'm
it's
not. Yeah,
alone,
yeah.
I'm not like shunning you to the outer lands. You're
She's
banished.
doing it because I
Well,
got that F bomb on her in that video. That's what it was.
well, the next morning,
Sorry, I won't make you laugh anymore.
Ashley and I have this thing when we were in Tyler. She kept doing it, and I couldn't quit laughing. It made it
That poor
worse.
restaurant. That poor y'all kept egging me on and doing stupid shit. Like, how do y'all expect me not to lose it? I was literally hiding behind a restaurant menu at some steakhouse in Tyler that we ate at that night because they pulled the most ridiculous crap. But just whatever. That's a whole other story for a whole other time. I lost my composure fully, and I spent a good like 10-15 minutes behind menu thing doing this to my nose, not breathing because I was like, I don't want to. And it was bad. It was bad.
But the next day when you called and asked us if we could put the chairs up, so we before we headed out, we went over there, and it was still kind of felt a little creepy, but it was like again a totally different vibe. It was daylight when we were there that first time. It was daylight when we were putting the chairs up. But you are definitely back on our bucket list to go back.
Hmm. I did
yeah,
mention that
mine
to Bud
too.
like he asked me to, so I'm still
Mhm.
on him about it.
So one of Darren's questions is, what's the most active spot in the asylum? So for you guys, since you've only been there once and everything, what would you
Mhm.
say in your experience that night? What would be the
I
most
would say,
active spot?
other than outside the north wing, for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah. Other than that stuff being thrown, that was the south wing, right?
Yeah.
The stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really a toss up. I mean, they were both equally active as far as I could tell.
The
I
only
think I
place, the
got
other
more
room I would,
EVPs on the other side, but the south side had that throwing, and that's pretty significant.
I'd almost say the whole building because I would
Yeah.
say you guys are saying both the north and south wing, and I'm like, that room that we were in that the object got thrown at is pretty active in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that pretty much makes the entire U of the building.
Yeah, that is.
Mhm.
That's every wing. That's the main wing in the north
Yeah.
and south wing. So, yay, the whole shit's on it.
Bud says north wing.
See, but
So,
we
yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
gosh, I agreed with them. Oh gosh, I'm never gonna
Yeah.
hear the end of that.
I
Well,
was
you
about to say
guys have
now
been
it's
together
recorded
too
too,
long.
so he's gonna throw that in your face. Um, Now this is interesting because you guys had a lot of different equipment that I don't necessarily use. I'm not big into pulling out like 50 different things. Um, but more than anything, it's because normally I'm by myself, so it's a lot of setting up and packing up that you have to do just for one person. And um, I just like keep it real basic, especially when I'm in there because I'm there all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't pull out the stops like I would for our big investigations in new places. I've only ever used the periscope, recorders. I have a digital. I like my recorder to be my digital cassette recorder. It's actually like a tape recorder, and it has a parabolic mic attached to it, so I record through that. And cat balls. I've started using cat balls now since I liked it so much. I've actually started using
Hmm.
cat balls. But other than that, I use a laser grid and nothing else really. Like EMF detectors, sure, but what is there anything in there that you guys noticed that they didn't particularly like playing with, they weren't fond of, or something that they preferred over the others and what you guys used?
I didn't notice anybody's REM pod really going off. Did you?
No.
I
I
didn't
didn't.
have any REM pods really.
Uh
Wow,
oh.
I got some static.
What you doing? That's that Mississippi static.
I didn't say it was from me. I'm hearing static.
Yeah, I got it too. I don't know what that is.
See? It's rich too. It's the
It's
Oklahoma stuff.
it could be. Could be. Now that pyramid thing that he had, the green red light.
That was
Yeah, I think still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It kind of went blank on me a second. That was pretty active. I think they sell it's called the Flux 2 or something like that.
I
If
think
you look
Ghost
on
Stop
you
has
look
it.
on Ghost Styles, just 'cause, yeah, they got like the Flux 2 or whatever they call it. Was really just going off on command every time.
I think it all depends on where you are in the building. Like, I wouldn't put anything that has motion, like in the north wing where you would walk in that part of the hallway. I wouldn't put anything that has any motion that's motion sensitive down there, because I don't know if it's something to do with it being, that's your entrance right there. Even though you walk through a room to get into that. That would be the only thing. I think it really depends on where you're located. Would be what they like and don't like.
Hmm.
Yeah, I will say, wouldn't you agree, Bud, that motion thing that somebody put down there by the door on that north wing when we were doing the pyramid and everything, it just kept going off, and it was like getting
Constantly.
so annoyed because it's like
Okay, we
nobody's
get
over
it. We're
there. Stop
here.
going
I've
off.
got Bud dropping an F bomb on that one too, but that didn't make the clip. Yeah, that it
When
was.
doesn't he drop the F bomb?
And well, and Edith was actually laughing because she was thinking the same thing about that. It was just constantly beeping and going off, and you'd look and there's nothing going on, or someone walked in and it's going off. It's just in a bad spot. They'd have been
Yeah.
better off if they'd have put it down by where we were. I think would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that they played tag with you almost kind of?
Yes.
Like you'd start doing something in one area trying to communicate, and then something real loud or interesting happens on like the complete opposite side. You go over there trying to figure out what that is, and then you hear the
Hmm.
noises and stuff back where you were. Like they're trying to get you to play tag back and forth.
I
Yeah.
felt that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, more in the south wing
Hmm.
than in the
Yeah.
north wing.
Yeah.
Well, like when we were in that big group towards the end, something kept pinging the rafters out the door or out in that hallway out there. Because I
And that's
kept
the
hearing it
station.
and I kept looking at where you had that drawing on the floor and where the,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, in there.
And you
And I
kept
was
saying they're
standing by the
behind
door.
you.
Yeah, and I kept looking and I kept hearing stuff up in the rafters, but it was out of the room in the hallway just outside. And that's where that second one came from.
Came from.
Yeah.
And
So
the funny
something had
thing was,
happened here.
is
Then boom.
Ashley, when she was doing her talk, kept saying, "I know you guys are behind me," and her back was to the hallway, and that's where
Yeah.
we were hearing everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
another thing. I mean, you were feeling something on your back and who was it? I can't remember his name. And
They
I
caught
am
on thermal, like my
right.
back had like a cold spot around it. Like,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
when I'd say, "Can you move?" it would move, and "Can you come back?" and it would keep
Yeah,
like
I think
on
Justin and
cue.
Kellen were back there filming
Thank you
that.
for the names. I completely forgot the names. I do apologize.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing on my video of it, you were actually trying to fan them away from your back.
Yeah,
You were trying to
it was
get them to come around, like don't get behind me.
well because remember I told you they were. I was like, they're touching me sexually.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I
not
heard that.
weirdly.
Yeah.
They were. I could feel them behind me, and then all of a sudden I started feeling like, and it's weird because they've never touched me like that in there. I've been there
Hmm.
for like 2.5 years now. They've never like been all sensual with me, and I was like, "What is going on tonight?"
Hey, baby, how you
And
doing?
like the next
So
thing I find
note
a
to
ghost
self:
dinner first.
it
We're,
takes two and a
we're
half
gonna
years to
tussle.
get the ghost friendly there.
At least they waited the appropriate amount of time. That feels like gentlemanly almost.
Mhm.
Because in Ballinger, they didn't wait.
2 year
During
courtship.
Nope.
Ballinger, during broad ass daylight, while Dan's giving us the tour, I'm standing outside of one of the rooms, like in the actual threshold of the doorway, and something just squeezes my butt. And I'm like, first of all, I ain't even got nothing back there for you to be touching like that, sir. That's also very ungentlemanly, and I am not a lady of the night. Like, went off on him.
Buy me dinner first.
Right. And then the rest of the night kept getting groped. And I was like, oh, well, of course, they just don't care what I think because I'm just a woman. At a certain point, I kept laying down in the beds because we were getting crazy, like, responses with the Periscope. And I was like, can you come lay in bed next to me? And the Periscope was like, go off and stuff, and EVPs, and I'm like, oh my god, that's weird. And so I'm actually laying down in bed, like with my butt on the bed, right, and feel something come up through the bed, like something touch my butt, and I'm like, that's not. That's doing something. Have you ever watched Frighteners? That's like that shit that comes through the walls and like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I got up and I was like, I'm real tired of being ghost groped. We go into another room, and kept walking like
Freddy Krueger was probably underneath the bed.
Yeah, I was doing a live, and I'm like, I'm tired of getting ghost groped. I'm not gonna be felt up anymore. Let's go to another room, guys. Like, this is getting weird. It was bad. It was good, but it was bad. What's your favorite experiment that you guys did in the asylum? Don't really know if you guys got to try much experiment-wise.
No, not a whole lot. Just that pyramid thing was the main thing that Bud was using in there, and it was just interesting watching him do that and how they were responding.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going off. The pyramid was going off so much, and it's supposed to be if you are on the right side of it, like. And Bud, I do apologize if I say the color's wrong, but like the way we had it, the right side of it was red, the left side of it was green, and whatever side you're on is the side that it's supposed to keep going, that it goes off. Well, it kept going off. I mean, it was going off so much that he went over there and physically turned it around just to make sure, to say, hey, look, I mean, and the green, all of a sudden, the red had been going off, and now all of a sudden, boom, the green wouldn't quit going off. So it was something obviously on that side of the room. And I mean, yeah, that was pretty intense during all that.
And then it was funny because Shannon and a couple others came in and started asking stuff, and the pyramid would start responding, and they're like, oh, they're talking. And I said, and I realized they weren't there, so I go, yeah, we had kind of asked green for yes, red for no, and they were like, oh. So I was like, hey, let's clarify what you walked into.
Yeah, it's like, but Shannon asked, well, can I sit down now? And it went off red.
Yeah, I remember that. It was
like,
no.
well, I'm going to do it. Something like, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm getting tired or something.
Was it one of the things you caught when Shannon was talking and you got an EVP of someone saying, get out?
I did get a get out. If it was during that, it's been a while. If that's when it was, yeah, there was a get out. The only one I got, I usually get 100 of those things when I'm investigating, but this is the only time I only got one get out or go away or somebody calling me an asshole. I've had that several. I don't know why.
Whispering in the back.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. No, I actually got that in just a recent investigation. I left it recorded by itself in the garage, and you hear this, "Hey, asshole."
Okay, but can we just talk about how funny it would be if sweet
put me in the
little
garage,
was going back for
don't let that fool you. She is a Navy chick, and she cusses like a sailor. So
like sneaking up, like looking around, being all stealthy, like he's not here. Good, and then
he's not.
like giggling and skittering away like Skeletor or some shit.
Well, I've done
Skeletor.
I've done that to Donald and Rebecca when we were at an investigation. They had their camera rolling, and I kind of jumped out in front of the camera and just stuck my butt in front of it and just kind of shook it. So when I don't even know if they've reviewed that evidence, but obviously Donald knows about it now.
Yeah, what was funny is the founders of my team, 30 South Paranormal, that I investigated with, they always accused me of trying to scare them. So when we were at Ballinger doing the old Reynolds jail, I decided I'm going to take an opportunity here. And they're in the middle of a holding cell, and I walk behind Matthew, and I put my hands on the bars and go, Johnny. And he really jumped out of his
Oh, God,
seat.
you remember when I scared that lady? What was her name? The older lady, when you guys came walking back in and I was standing in the door frame. Did you get anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I felt so bad about that. It was totally unintentional, but I saw you walk by, then someone else walked by, and I could have swore she looked right at me. And said, did you get anything over there? I was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was going to scare you like that.
My favorite thing is that spider that just goes off on his own randomly. Okay, so we have one of those spiders that like lunges out at you for our Halloween run.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the electricity is not on. Like this thing is not supposed to leap out point blank period. but it also is motion sensor. Like you have to actually step on the pad to make it go off. And we'll be in there like doing the tours and stuff, and you just hear the spider jumping, going,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, okay, they're playing back there. Well, one time when, because you know how I have the cops come through and sweep the building because it is not secure by any means,
Yeah, that was
really.
funny when they showed up. We're like, what?
Well,
What's going on?
every
There's two
single
of them
time,
too.
Yeah,
every
well,
single time, people are like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "I'm
yeah.
just doing this to keep y'all safe. Don't be like we're not that ghetto. I'm just doing it for your safety."
Yeah, and the female cop came out saying that was the first time she's gone in there and got nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
she
because
I
overheard
was
her
like,
talking to
yes.
you. Yeah, I was like, that's a good sign. The cop's nervous, so we're gonna have a good one today.
well, you have to keep in mind that the funniest part about the cops coming is I only have 2 cops who will come
Oh,
because
really?
I've had 3 other cops on the force. Keep in mind, Broken Bow Police Department has like 6 cops in total. So the rest of the cops that have come thus far will not re-enter the building. I had one
Wow.
younger gentleman who went in and he was across from Nick's room, and he said he felt someone pull his gun. But he
Oh,
ran out of the room like a Scooby Doo cartoon with his gun up in the air like this, like hand drawn, going, "Ugh!" And with it like just all in the air, like knees to chest type stuff. Like he was hauling ass hard out of there. And he goes, "I'm not going back in there. I can't shoot a ghost." So he never, he never
Yes,
did that.
well, you can, but
Um,
nothing's gonna happen.
and then there was another gentleman. He was older and he was like 8 months out from retirement. And he came in twice. And the second time he came in, he goes, "I'm almost retired. I'm not about to die because I have a fucking heart attack and I can't." He didn't come because you feel like he really does not like men with authority, like authority figures, but prepared, even if they're females, he does not like it. Um, and so he would get that feeling of being walked up on and like that hot breath on your neck and that
Mm.
forceful rushing up upon you that Nick likes to do. And so he would do that all the time. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm tired of this shit. I'm not gonna get scared anymore." So when he would have to do like sit outs when they have to wait outside and like, be our little security guards basically, he would actually sit out in front near where the snow cone stand is out front. He would sit in his car there, not back at the asylum,
Hmm.
and have me go up there and tell him when I was done and would not come back to the asylum to let him
Well,
go.
it's funny you were mentioning the spider when we were going back down the south wing, and we were heading like, was it to the doll's room or is it in the doll room? I can't remember. The
It's
spider.
it's
I think
right
it's in,
before the
no.
doll's room.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I knew it was possibility of coming, and so I kept like my back to the wall and kind of was easing past. I was more scared of that stupid thing going off than I was a spirit in the
Donald said they
asylum.
might shoot the spider, which is funny because that was the whole point of me telling that story, but y'all know who I am. So one of them actually, they were in there, and so you know how I open it from that wing, like we start
Mhm.
in the haunted house
Right.
area because that's the door I can enter into, and you hear oh shit, you hear the you hear the leap and the thing noise that it makes, and then you hear oh shit, and Sterling was like, "I almost shot that fucking spider." Melissa said he had a weapon drawn and everything. He was like, "Yeah, fucking freeze, motherfucker." But he realized that it was the spider, not anything. But crackheads jump at you like that too, so you got to be on the P's and Q's, man.
Yep.
Mm.
I remember in the walkthrough in that area too. You were talking about the doll in the corner that sometimes comes alive, and I
Yeah.
was walking through with Tony and another lady. I forget her name, and I was like, and I turn the corner and I see her, and I'm like, I swear to God, if that doll moves, I am out of this hall right now.
I might have been right behind them. I'm not afraid of them, but they do creep me out. And
I'm
if
not
one
gonna
Yeah.
moves,
lie,
I'm
I
probably
might
out
have
the door.
pissed myself a little the night that I went off. Just not like a gross amount where I was like smelling like pee the rest of the night, just like a little oh my god. Because I told y'all I don't do ghost kids and I don't do dolls. So when you have a doll ghost kid that's like, "First we're gonna play, then I'm gonna kill you," and she ain't got no electricity running to her, she's singing that shit. Bye,
Yeah,
peace.
that's why I was like, I might be actually running out of the room.
Hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
I'll meet you guys in the front.
If we make it there.
No.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you all.
Our
All
luck,
I'm
we'll hit the
saying,
doll and then we'll go run out and find the spider and be like, oh, that
Mm,
oh my god.
keep going
So
back and forth.
one of the ladies that came through for one of my summer tours, she was like, does the doll come off the swing? And I said, why would you ask that? First of all, now you're giving it ideas. Now
mhm.
it's like, well, I never thought about getting off the swing. And now if I find this bitch off the swing because she's glued to it, like hands and everything, if I find her off the swing, I'm gonna have to burn this whole building down. Like there was just not, there's no if ands or buts about it. Like, but she asked, and so the whole night, every time we'd go through there, because those are events that I do myself, so I'm with them the whole time. So every night we went back in that area, I did like how Eileen said she does with her back in the spider room. I did that in that doll room. I would be like, you better not hop up off that swing. I'll fight you. I'll punch you. I'll do something to you. I will throw hands on you. So we're sitting in there doing an EVP session, and I hear like a little girl laughing, and I'm like, So I just fixated on that doll the whole time, and I don't think I said a word. Which for me, not to talk for like 2 minutes is weird. But I didn't say one word that whole time we were in there because I was like, I'm just watching because I'm leaving y'all. You just got to be fastest in a slower person.
I don't know. I'm thinking that would be a cool video to watch. Ashley versus the doll.
Mhm.
Isn't it funny though that we're sitting here like scared of of a fake spider, even though it's jumping out for some reason or another, with no electricity, and a doll, but we're sitting in dark rooms asking things, throw something at us.
Right.
Let
Mhm.
me feel that you're here.
It's like, and I always crack up because it's like we always will say make a sound, and then when they do, everybody runs out of the room, and I'm like, why did you ask them to make a sound if you're gonna hightail it
Right.
out?
Well,
I
that's what
laugh
was
at
so
that
funny.
all the time.
You can tell we're all so used to apologizing because we all jumped 20 feet. I don't know about you, Michael, because you were behind me, but I know me, Shannon, and Ashley still jumped because it was so freaking loud. And then afterwards, like, I'm sorry, no, you didn't scare me. You startled me. We're okay.
Now,
I
see,
promise it's okay.
the face I think I was making that Ashley was talking about is I was not breathing, I was not moving, I was
He's behind me.
solid,
Frozen.
still, like petrified. I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't realize I wasn't breathing until like we turned the lights on. I'm like, oh yeah, I could breathe.
But it was like almost immediately, you didn't scare us. You startled us. Thank you. You didn't
Now,
scare us. I promise. Because then it
my
wouldn't throw anything after that.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, my thing about that is, it's not that I startle really. It's more that I grew up in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans. So like, if I hear a loud noise or a loud bang, I'm ducking because I'm not getting shot. So it's more of a survival instinct with me than a startled thing. It's like, oh shit, we gotta get down.
yeah. See, that's what
I
I was
don't
like.
like
I was,
jump and get out of the room. I'm like, duck, it's a
Well, that's
bullet.
like I said, I know that sucker either went right by or above my head. I don't know which one,
Yeah,
but it was, I mean,
it
obviously
had
right
to
over
for
my
me to pick it
recorder.
up. Yeah.
But I
yeah,
mean, it was just, I mean, it startled the crap out of me because it was so, I wish people could, I mean, I guess I could play it. I'm waiting for Bud to finish our website too, but so I can put it on there. But it was so freaking loud. I've never heard a bang that loud from something being thrown by a spirit.
and
That was
that
pretty
was the
scary.
other thing. It's like you frozen because you're like, where do you run? It's dark. You don't know where it came from, so you don't know where it's safe to go.
You notice I was standing by the exit door.
This has to be safe, right?
Until you get out there and whatever's outside.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And then you go out there and that's waiting for you. So,
yeah. They're like, oh, you thought the bone against the thing was scary. Wait till we throw this at you.
actually, my brother didn't like those dolls either, apparently. He just put that
You see a
comment.
creepy ass doll.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
were
can't
creepy.
stand doll rooms.
No, I don't either. And I want a
Um,
haunted doll, but no, a doll room is way too many.
Yeah,
One
that's
is
too
enough.
much.
well, and I put that creepy voice on the creepiest looking doll, too. I did that on purpose on that video. I'm going to find you, and there's that creepy ass doll in the picture.
What demon baby? The demon
What's
Yeah,
that?
baby in the cage?
I think
I did get the one in the cage. That was on a different one. I
Demon
can't
baby's my
remember what I put
favorite.
it on, but the one I think I don't know what it was sitting on, but to me it was the creepiest one in there. I'm not sure which one. I don't even think I have a picture of
Is
it.
it the one that was in the swing?
Probably,
Probably
probably.
as it was trying to come out of the swing, off the
Yeah,
swing.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That doll. That
Mm.
doll. Oh my god. Mm. So,
Let
we've
me.
basically
I'll
covered
see if I have that.
kind of most of
Of
the
the
breadth
night.
of it. Yeah. But what would you say versus other locations that you guys have been to? What's unique about this place? What stands out about this location? And if nothing stands out about it to you, you're welcome to say that too. You're just not ever going to come back.
Everything. It was the
Well,
sorry, Rebecca. I had the perfect location.
yeah. Uh,
Wow. What stood out to me was how much stuff would happen on command.
hmm
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
intelligent.
Yeah, I was really kind of
Yeah.
surprised knowing how hard that place gets hit. They were still reactive. They were still willing to respond. I mean, they only got that one get out, so we weren't annoying them too bad. And
Like I told you guys, it's like they like it. Well, I don't think you guys were on this part of the stream yet when I was explaining the background and history. But they never got attention and visitors in life. So I really think that by bringing all these people, nobody ever wanted to hear their stories. Nobody cared jack shit about their stories when they were alive.
hmm
You bring all of these people in here, asking to finally hear their side, hear their stories, talk with them, communicate with them, even just say hello and feel any type of caring or warmth for
yeah, and
once. And I
Yeah.
nobody
truly
was
believe,
provoking. We were all
no,
respectful, and we got
that's
great
cool.
responses.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
think the most unique. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the thing I loved on the wall was the rules of what brought you to the asylum. And I'm like,
Oh
half of
yeah,
the
I
stuff on
put
that
that
list,
one.
I was like, lock me
We
up
all
now.
belong in
I've
here.
pretty much
Take me now.
broken over half of this list.
We're just all gonna stay. Just check in, please.
I think the most unique thing about that place is I've never seen anything that was ran as so many different types of locations
Yeah.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
I
Yeah.
mean, that has got to have promoted or provoked a lot more activity because you normally hear it's just this or then it turned into this. But
hmm
this was so many things at once
Yep.
that because and tell me if I mean obviously tell me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
when it was being a when it was being a trauma, it was also the alternative school at the same time, right?
Yep.
hmm
So
And
can
and
you
the nursing home
imagine?
was still running. So you
So
had all these different energies just
well, and can you imagine? Alternative school is, I mean, the kids needed something different than normal schooling, obviously. So
from all
look
accounts,
at
a lot
what,
of them were in juvie and stuff. So a lot of them
right,
had criminal past and records.
but look at what all they witnessed while being there
Talk
with
about
it
being
being
scared
everything else.
straight.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they just got their arm chopped off from a fight. Don't fight. Your arm will get chopped off. I mean,
We just got this man with 2 bullet holes in his anus. Don't steal people's wives.
Bullet
You're in
holes in
Oklahoma. You got to throw some flair on it.
the
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm
Could
allowed
you
to say
imagine the tombstone for that?
I think it's better than this.
Died with 2 bullets in his ass. I can imagine the EVPs. I'd be like the
My
ghost going,
asshole.
I got shot. Where? You don't want to know.
In my asshole.
I got shot from behind. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, I got the picture of that device. That's that. I don't know if we can
Yeah.
get that in
Yeah.
there. That's that
Pyramid.
pyramid. There we go.
Yeah, we call
Yeah,
That's
it
the
that
the
was a pretty
pyramid
pyramid.
with
cool
the red and
device.
black. Yeah, and I actually went out and got one when I got back here. So
I put it on my wish list.
yeah, I got it, used it. Haven't gotten too much yet, but I know it works. I was actually looking at it before Bud used it, and that just convinced me to go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's used it several times. I love it.
hmm
One piece I'm looking at, I just figured out how to work because I didn't read the whole thing when I ordered it from Ghost Stop, is their 360 motion puck.
Mm. I've
And
seen
it
it.
has
Yeah.
to be on a tripod. I didn't know that when I first
Oh.
got it. And it would constantly be going off. And I was like, what? They're like, well, you got to put it on a tripod. I'm like, oh, should have read that. But then the weird thing is I was at Yorktown using it, and the thing would be going around, and then it would go completely dead. and bring itself right back to life, start searching, but it would have a white dot where it picked up something. And I was like, what? And it did that 3 times. I was like, this thing's not supposed to do that?
Hmm.
What the hell just sucked the life out of this thing from the direction I'm standing in?
I've actually, so all of the stuff that I get from Jeremy Jones, and I've had that Periscope for about 4 years now. Use it in a bunch of places and always have pretty intelligent responses. But I mean, no, nothing near what I ended up, but what I started getting when I was at the asylum. You know, it was kind of like I was training them to use this device almost, you know, not training, but like teaching them how to use it. So that became our main form of communication because it was very intelligent. We have different light colors, light patterns. I'm like, can you dance? I've showed you guys the dance thing, how I dance with them and dance,
Yeah.
dance, dance. Can you make it dance?
No, but you gotta show us
And
now so everyone can see it.
no, no way. I'm in my my studio's in my closet, and I will break something. Don't even get
So
me
she
started.
went into the closet to have this conversation.
No, I set up my studio in the closet because it's a huge walk-in closet, and I don't like clothes. So I put my studio in here. No, it's not okay. Not like that. Like I don't just walk around. Okay, let me rephrase.
Wow,
Ashley
this
forgot who
studio
she was
just got
talking
a
to.
whole lot more
I
interesting.
don't have enough clothes to fill up an entire walk-in closet because I'm like whatever. I'll wear the same like 5 different sweatpants from Walmart. I don't got shit that I could really need to hang up unless I'm going out in public, which I don't do a lot. So you know, office space. Well, now you made me think about the booty popping. Oh, I started I started getting so many intelligent responses on this thing that I thought it was broken. Or
Mm-hmm.
just like so many like weird
That's
random
what we
hits and
thought too.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I drove all the way out the fuck to Jefferson and brought it to him, and I was like, hey, I think this might be broken. Can you fix it for me? And he was like, it's not broken. I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting really good stuff.
Ah,
Good times, good times. Uh, oh my god.
Well, see, that's what it was doing to us over in Coesworth recently. We had it sitting on a desk and we were asking questions and it would go off on again, off again. And then we put over on the mantle, didn't get much response, got a few responses if I'm not mistaken, but put it back on the desk, same spot, you know, and it was going off like crazy. We're like, what in the world? Move it again. It wouldn't because we thought something was going on with it, but no, it was just something liked it.
Yeah, and that's just the most awesome thing ever. Now, because you guys did not get very much time in there, what would be the place that you guys would want to focus on most first when you go back, or what things would you try differently or um, build off of from your experience there? Like, where would you start with your communication again, since you've already encountered them once?
Well, being tempted that alley, but I don't think we really want to do that. No, for me, I'd probably like to hit the south wing a little bit more, try to get more of that interaction like y'all had, because I missed some of that. We were too busy in the north hall
Mm-hmm.
and working on that equipment there. So I'd probably start off in the south hall just to see if something else could get thrown on command.
I like it. Eileen, what are yours?
I I want to try
I was gonna
the
say the alley too. Y'all are gonna say the alley.
yeah. Well, I'm trying not to say that, but I want to try. You know, just because I want to go with a smaller group of people, which I loved everyone that was there. It's just I want
Mhm.
to go with a smaller group of people and try the digital recorder with the walkie talkies. Where you're in a different room and trying to talk through and see if something would happen and just set up equipment with no one around it,
Mhm.
knowing no one's around it, and just see what happens when they're by themselves.
Yeah, because audio
Yeah.
captures and events are so hard. There's so much you have to go through with contamination noise. It's pretty much pointless to try and go through EDP rules and batches when you're doing events. So yes, that would actually be interesting because we get a lot of very distinct like sentences, not just little voices here and there. It's like full sentences and all different types of voices on that digital cassette recorder that I use all the time. It's brilliant. And you know how when the TV used to go off and do the static thing, the you
Yeah.
hear that a lot, like the actual click of a TV, like you know the old school knobs, like the clicking, and then you hear the and it lasts for about 30 minutes and then it'll stop. It's really weird.
Well, the
Really,
trouble
really
is, we
weird.
just dated ourselves because we remember the TV being clicked on and off.
I just
That
outed
well,
myself
Hey,
being poor when I
I
was
remember
little because I
being the
had
remote
one.
I'm about to
control
say
for the
back
Oh
when we
yeah.
were
TV.
the remote
Hmm.
controls,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And you had to hold the antenna a certain way.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the rabbit ears. Those were
Hmm.
fun.
Hey Jonah,
Yeah.
stand to the left. The Super Bowl's getting fuzzy.
That's it. And hold your arm up like this.
Hold your tongue to the
Yeah,
left.
I feel like you're one of those pilot guides with the
Hmm.
ears.
Yeah.
And Michael, what about you? What would be the place that you start off where? What's the one thing that you want to go back and delve a little bit further into?
I want to kind of check out the nurses station on the south wing, where the main and the south wing connect, and be like, almost want to be there like 24, like 48 hours to see if like when you say the doors open and close on their own, if it's at a specific time to see if it's just them doing their daily
Residual, if it's
routine.
just residual. That's
Yeah,
what I've always
or
wondered. Especially because you hear the drawers so much. I always felt that a lot of what happens in that nurse's station is just absolutely residual. Because it is like especially during the daytime. It's very noisy there during the daytime. It's like they're doing their paperwork, getting caught up on their filing and stuff.
Okay.
You'll actually hear
right.
like clicking. You'll hear the drawers opening. You guys have seen them. They're very old drawers from the 50s that are set on these
Some of them are
really
not easy
distinct
to open.
tracks. No, and they slide right out. Like they'll just be open. And I always look for a critter or a raccoon or something because they can push them out. Just never anything there.
Hmm.
So awesome. I'll let you stay there for 2 days. I'll bring you food and a sleeping bag.
Well, what about those the two rooms that are in the middle part? You said they were putting like 10 people at a time in for the
The
actual
asylum
asylum part
rooms.
of it. Yeah, that would
Yes.
probably be a good one to start
Yeah.
at too.
Yeah.
If I could ever get that door open, because remember I told you guys it locked. We still to this day cannot
Oh,
get
can't get it
that
open.
room open. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But it's funny because I didn't think about this until the last group came through. So that room is actually where we used to have all those dolls that are back in the doll room in the haunted house part and the maze part. They
Hmm.
actually used to be in that room in that crib, and we moved them. And after we moved them, was when that door locked. Like something didn't like us taking the dolls away from there.
Or they
Maybe you should
didn't want
go.
them
I'll
Or they
back.
bring
didn't
you
want them
some
back.
dolls.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
said.
what I'm thinking.
Because one lady was like, maybe they were mad because you guys took the dolls. They're like, or maybe they're like, don't bring those creepy bitches back here.
Yeah.
That seems more likely.
I will say what popped in my head as a room that I'm like may avoid is that one on the main hall at the end on the right where there's a wall with a little hole with
The
the chair
morgue,
next to it.
the
And
Yeah.
I'm
makeshift
like,
morgue. Yeah.
Makeshift
that's
more.
just that's kind of creepy.
Hmm.
I'm
There's
like,
just so many places I still feel are just so that we didn't get a chance to
Because
do.
it's huge. It
Yeah.
is. It's
yeah.
huge. It's ginormous.
And then it had the leather across the way that you were like talking about how they were shredding it. It's like, what?
It's the whole place is just very and like I said, it changes. Like I said, some days you go in and you feel heavy. Some days you feel it goes real light. Sometimes it's just real quiet and nonchalant. But when I get angry with people, I've noticed that their attitudes towards them start to change. Like people who get stuff thrown at them directly and things like that without
Hmm.
being asking for it. I realized I had to pull back from expressing like I really wish this person weren't fucking here right now when people are there because stuff would start happening to these people. And I truly do feel it's like they think of me as like family now. So like, okay, we'll protect you. You don't like this person, and you'll get rid of them. So I'm like, I wish you would just fucking leave. and then they'd get like pushed and glass thrown at them or some shit, and they're like, "I'm out of here." And I'm
Wow.
like,
Wait, is that what you
"Good."
did when it threw something at me? It just missed. It wasn't supposed to have
Yeah.
missed.
Were
Nah,
you like
I would have just
mad we
thrown
walked in
it
the
at
room?
you and made you out and just kicked you out. But I had to be actively more aware of that, because you do have the people that come in and are like, "This is boring. Nothing's happening," and they've been there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, "Okay, and you call yourself an investigator? That's really fucking awesome." No, it's not how this works. Well, we heard this place was really active. Well, yeah, they also weren't acting like complete douchebags when they got the activity. Like, like, come at me because you're not a good investigator. Get the fuck out of here. So, I'd be like, I just wish you would leave. Like, you just get out of here. I don't even want you here anymore. And sure enough, they'd get pushed out. I'd be like, "Oh, thank you guys," and like bring them some snacks or some shit. I know ghosts can't eat snacks, but it's the thought that counts.
And have you ever noticed too that the people who like to do the antagonizing are always the first to run out when something happens?
Yes. Yes.
Every time.
The ones who come in like, "Whatever, this shit isn't real," or even if it was, I wouldn't even be scared, are the ones that I've heard scream like little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And run out of the asylum, not of just the room that we were in, run down the hall and beeline out and wait in the car for their wife for the next 4 hours. Like, no.
Those are the ones you go, just run back in the alley. You're saying go back in the alley.
That's our
When you
safe
leave,
spot.
make sure you cut through the alley. Make sure you go all the way through it. And then if you make it, turn left. And you'll be okay.
Oh man. We are coming up on time, guys. I really do appreciate you guys being here, sharing your stories with me, and I absolutely cannot wait to have you guys back. It was so much fun just interacting with you guys. So investigating and getting more in depth with everything is definitely going to be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I actually am setting something up in about a month for everyone to kind of come up and do a little mini investigation. Not a bunch of people, but a little mini thing, and you guys just might be invited or whatnot. Nobody
Well, thank you very much.
I feel
You
special.
may just have to show up.
Right,
I'm
right
making
now,
the
if you
big
don't
time
show
now.
up, you're getting in the alley the next time you come up. You're not allowed in the
Wait,
building.
is that a
It's an
threat?
alley.
No,
Right.
see, the difference is she's going to say you go in the alley and wait for the guide to tell you how to get out.
Hell yeah. Oh gosh. We're like, we might have crackheads or ghosts. It's a toss up. Good luck.
Sounds
No
like
weapons.
drawing straws. Short straw gets the alley.
Yes. Oh my god.
Or better yet, she's going to have you walk through the door, then she's going to lock it with the deadbolt behind you and be like, oh, great.
Yeah, now
I'm
get
sorry,
out
did I
here.
lock you out?
You're locked in. Good luck. See you tomorrow.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. Just might get a few more grays up in here too.
Okay, so before we go, I want each one of you to tell your funniest moment from the night.
Oh,
Funniest.
Because we
Oh,
always
well, I
have
got.
like blooper reels type moments, you know?
Bud
Oh,
had,
man.
yeah, Bud had a device on his phone, and he's talking and he's saying, I got this device that's got words in here, and the first word out of that thing was geek. I mean, it's kind of one of those you had to be there, but he's like, yeah, we got this high tech. He's gonna geek.
I'm super into this new device
Yeah.
we're using here today. It's going to be super nifty to use it.
But then again, it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time when I scared that poor lady. I'm
funny.
I'm surprised she didn't leave a brown trail behind her. I mean, I scared her that bad. I know I'm kind of scary looking, but that's a little ridiculous.
I'm just letting you know you better clean that up. I know I'm the owner and
Oh,
everything.
I would have taken care of it.
I
It was
don't
my
do
fault.
custodial duties like that. Though. I don't do custodial duties. Get it?
Yeah, I got the duty. Well, so I gotta clean up after my dog anyway. Next time I'll just bring a scooper with me.
Could you imagine the look on people's faces when you walk up to an investigation? Like, what is that for? Like, in case someone shits themselves.
That'd be like,
And then
here's
kind of
bells
snap it
everybody
at
has
him.
to have on them.
To keep you in line.
Yeah.
The other thing would be is watch Ashley go, everybody needs to wear this bell on their wrist so we can know where you're at all times so nobody scares anybody.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be so fun.
I think we needed more cowbell.
Hell yeah.
That would be hilarious to find at the fire pit next time we're there.
Just a
There's a
cowbell.
cowbell.
Yeah.
He said we need more cowbell. Tink, tink.
And they'd be like, no, I still think it needs a little more. Here's another one.
Oh, I just got to quit hanging out in the shadows and that kind of thing wouldn't happen.
What about you, Eileen?
I can't think of really one moment that was like the funniest. I mean, look who all I hang out with. I mean, I've got the Martins, I got Bud, now I've met Rich and Michael. So I think it was just more so just everyone making everyone laugh at the appropriate time, obviously.
Yes.
But, I think we all kind of fed off of each other, just kind of lightening the night and making it just a
Yeah.
fun event.
Mhm.
Well, you guys all failed because you were supposed to say me, but whatever.
Well,
I didn't get a chance yet.
So you
Still gotta go.
I'm just kidding.
You can't cheat now, Michael.
I know, she's all like, y'all failed. And I'm like, I never even got a chance.
That's by default.
What was
Stop reading what
was
I'm going to
your
say.
funniest moment? Don't say
Because
nothing.
actually, funny thing is the funny moment I was going to mention was you.
So,
What did I do?
When the tea light fell from the rafters. And you're all like, what the hell? And we're all like, what? We look and we're like, where did this tea light come from?
I got real 504 in that moment. Just a little bit.
Sorry, I can't quit laughing at Donald's comment there. That's another investigation inside joke.
What, when he almost shit himself?
No, no, that's a long, long story there. You could remove Rebecca's comment at any moment now.
Oh, sorry.
Just like leaving it up there.
Clear that up. Eileen, did you shit?
So, if anyone ever meets Donald Martin with Southern Paranormal, make sure you ask him, did you shit?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think we actually covered everything. I just want to say thank you guys again so very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for
I
having
can't
us.
wait to have you guys
Yeah,
back.
thank you.
And I enjoy my time with you guys as always. You guys are some of my favorite new peoples, and I love it.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you
And
too.
remember, guys, if you want to discover the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, and stay tuned for all of our Paranormal Bully Busters outputs. We have all of the different resource hotlines for every type of crisis management thing you could think of. Vets, LGBT, veterans, I already said veterans, I don't know, I haven't slept in days, lots of stuff. Anything that you need help, we can help you. It's all in these slides. Make sure you guys share this so people can get the help that they need. And thank you guys very much for tuning in, and catch us next Monday. Have a good night.